amazed at how eventually it's the kind of deeper message is being unpacked, and then it all of a sudden becomes a little bit more interesting.
Sure.
To kind of and if it were just watching little rocks float while Asian people get angry, that would be very entertaining. But I don't know how much of my free time I'd put towards that. But I
love it.
I don't know. Actually, that would be really entertaining. But I remember Dragon Ball Z from my childhood. I don't know. Am I super wrong if I'm saying that the main character has like a baseball cap on?
That's definitely. It's very ironic that you should ask that, because that is exactly the thing that I said you wouldn't know the difference between earlier.
Ooh.
That kid wants to be the very best, like no one ever was. That's Pokemon.
That's
Now,
Pokemon.
He's got to catch them all. On Dragon Ball Z, they're trying to find them all. They're trying to find all the Dragon Balls, not Pokeballs. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but Pokemon
there are balls involved. There's balls all over the place.
All right, balls to the walls.
But yeah, it is funny. There's definitely the comparison there, because I think I probably saw Pokemon before I saw Dragon Ball Z, and Pokemon was definitely one of those. What's this? What is going on here? And you watch it just because it's on. Like it was on in the morning before school or something. I don't know, and I'm just sitting there eating my Lucky Charms, going, that kid just caught a monster and it shrunk down, and now it's inside a ball in his back pocket. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. But yeah, Dragon Ball Z, the main character Goku, he's usually like in an orange, I don't know what you call it, like martial arts, gi, yeah, and he's got black out of control bedhead, flopping all around and jagged points on his head.
It acts like Mickey Mouse's ears, that it totally defies the laws of physics, that whichever way his head is pointed, like that's the way that the cowlick goes, like irrespective of how it would actually go if you turned your head that way.
Yeah.
Aren't Dragon Ball people? They're definitely more ripped than Pokemon characters, right?
As a rule, yes.
Yeah, it's like every time you see them, it's like, I don't know if that's an anatomically correct muscle structure, but we'll go with that.
It's certainly very impressive, yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's probably the most interesting part about it, because I've worked as a personal trainer before, and I definitely remember being impressed with the muscles of the characters there.
Joshua could watch that and give us a deep analysis of how anatomically incorrect all these muscle structures are.
As they're flying through the air. Oh, he didn't miss leg day, so that's
But you asked, am I interested? Probably to some extent, but I don't know how big of a Dragon Ball Z fan I am. I remember I was it was definitely a turnoff during my childhood also, but I don't know, I just didn't really latch on to it.
Well, and it's kind of, if you're not into it from the beginning, because as someone who is like tangentially aware of it, like I know that sort of like the common criticism of the Dragon Ball shows is that it kind of seems like nothing happens, or it takes a long time for things to happen.
Right. Yeah. And that is, and that's a criticism that I can share. I mean, as someone who's been a fan of it and who's appreciated it over the years, and then, it's not like I sit my kids down and we watch, the DVD series every night now. But there was a lot of waiting involved, right? Like there would be a big reveal, or there'd be a big stressful, like, what's going to happen. And the cliche became totally, next time on Dragon Ball Z. And you're going, okay, what's going to happen next time on Dragon Ball? Well, next time on Dragon Ball Z, we're going to wait for 20 minutes to find out if this creature is going to transform, and if his power level is going to exceed, 9,000 or whatever, and beat this guy. So there was a lot of waiting. The other thing about it that is a challenge is they have a lot of funny little comedy routines that they sneak in there that aren't really part of the
Right.
overall plot of, the old man chasing the turtle around the island or whatever, like that you're kind of like, okay, I don't know that I really needed that part. So
like, how many rice dumplings can Yamcha eat today?
yeah. Or so I mean, there are elements of it where I don't know. I think it's the sense of humor of the people making it that like it's trying to be this very broad scope show where, but I think it's also showing like I think to give it some credit is you've got these high stakes fights, right? Intergalactic fights where it's like the universe is at stake. And meanwhile, normal life is going on with all these goofy characters,
I think it would be really funny if they totally did it on purpose, like just to torture their public. It's like, the moon is about to be blasted out of the heavens, but wait, we need to find out what's going on with Krillin.
Yeah, he's got a hot new girlfriend. That's great. Good for you, buddy. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's there's a lot of silly stuff to it, but I mean, overall, the characters and the style of the show. I mean, it's not amazing anime, but it's pretty good, and it's colorful and interesting enough the way they portray the fighting and I guess the light show of the beam cannons and all these different things that they're doing, and then just the concept of blasting someone with beams coming out of your hands is pretty cool. Yeah. You put your palms together and you fold your thumbs inward and you stretch your arms out as abruptly and sharply as you can at the kid down the hallway in high school, and you just scream with all your strength, and he doesn't know that he's dead, and you just feel all the stronger and more able to save the universe. So I may have done that.
And then you get a wedgie and put your head put in the
toilet. Just wait until I store up my spirit bomb. You will feel but okay.
Whatever.
How much do you think as guys living in the States miss some of the cultural things that guys make, the Japanese people in Japan making the show? Like, how much have you missed of the actual, like, maybe some of the jokes there are a part of the culture and you guys just don't get it?
Well, I mean, an easy surface level is, cuisine, some of the things that they're eating, you're like, what is that? But I think on a deeper level, a lot of the religious overtones, kind of miss, you're like, what's going on there? Because where you've got, and I guess it's kind of on a similar level, of what we see with like Thor, where, like a superhero where there's the element of like, are these gods or are these superheroes or are these, what are these? And there's some of those pieces that are kind of weird. Like I said at the beginning, where like the main arch nemesis guy, he's supposedly a demon, and then it's like, well, is he a demon or is he an alien? So there's like some of those things where I think in Japanese culture, a lot of those things, and a lot of the anime that I've seen, it's a lot more common that you've got gods and demons and demigods and things where it's a lot easier on how we usually do it in the States of it's a superhero or it's an alien. It's not a god. It's not an actual spiritual being.
Like they're a lot more comfortable with the whole spiritual aspect of things. Yeah,
and so it really flows through things. What I was joking around about the spirit bomb is it's this amazing like last ditch effort way to defeat an enemy where you're absorbing life from every living thing on Earth and everything is contributing to defeat this villain. And so it's like a really kind of, I don't know, almost like a Gaia concept or something. It's like a really different thing. So,
well, and that makes sense from the Eastern culture perspective, where everything is so much more like based in the collective. Like there's a far stronger sense of community and family and like who we are together as a culture that really stands in stark contrast to, Western culture where we're all about individualism.
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, so there's that. I mean, on the one hand, I mean, for me as a Christian, one of the the idea of a superhero that's selfless, that is ready to do whatever it takes to save everybody. I mean, you definitely see that on a serious level in Christ, but
Yeah.
with so those sorts of things are appealing. It's something I talked about before. Like what do you look for in a hero, and that kind of depends on what sort of entertainment you enjoy, whether it's an outlandish, bizarre, totally wacky show like Dragon Ball Z, or whether it's whether you enjoy seeing the cops go out, or whether it's a superhero show, or whether it's an army show, or even a sports victory. I mean, like the different films, the different cinema that we enjoy,
Sure.
or even dramas. When you've got a person with a struggle, and it's like, okay, what are they? Because that's something that's kind of funny about Dragon Ball Z. I think it almost, in some ways, it attempts to do some of the drama type things with the character development. And there's this one part of the show where a guy comes from the future and lets Goku know that he's going to have a heart disease, a heart condition, and helps him prepare for that. And it's kind of like wow, that's like a smack of reality in the midst of this, completely outlandish universe. So those sorts of things are interesting when, because if it's all over the top, then it does get old. But if it can root itself in some things that feel more like real life and it's entertainment, I think that sticks with people a little bit more. Like I said, like with the father and son relationship, like that kind of sticks with me as a dad now, 3 boys. It's like some of those elements are kind of like, yeah, that was pretty cool. Like he taught his son to fight, and he taught his son to sacrifice and to serve, for the common good. And
well, and as you mentioned before, Joshua, like, and it's coming out again now, like, yeah, there's like the layer of goofiness to a lot of these things that geeks love, but if you scratch the surface just a little bit, you're going to find stuff under there that is meaningful, and that is getting at something that is deeper.
For sure. Yeah, right on. That. I like that thought, because it's really, it all is going to come from the values of the person that's making it, right? But if you've anything that's worth, in my mind, like anything that's worth getting geeky over does have that substance to it. That's more than just the goofiness or the glitter, the glam, the outlandishness of it. And really what is cool about it is somebody who can take those media, that media, each of those mediums, and say, I'm going to do this crazy thing where it's these aliens or whatever in space and fighting and all this stuff, but I'm going to use it to communicate this message.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works better when it's removed from typical everyday life. You get a different picture that you might not have seen.
I think that's a great place for us to start wrapping this up, because we've pretty much gone like twice as long as I normally would want to with this kind of segment. Joshy, do you have any thoughts on this that you'd like to take us out with? Yeah,
I think it'd be really cool to just apply that scratch surfing idea to maybe like any parts in life. May it be a song, maybe the melody just seems stupid, but if you start listening to the lyrics, maybe it's something that really touches you. Or may it be some religion that seems weird at first, but if you start to think about it, then it might change your life. Or anything, just to maybe not scratch things off at the first glimpse, but give things a try or two.
That is awesome. Okay.
Cool.
Right on. Okay, thanks, guys. That's going to do it for Understand a Random Fandom this time.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me on, John.
Yep, thanks again, Rich. We'll catch you later.
Awesome chatting with you guys.
Yeah, good talking to you, Josh. See you, John.
All righty.
So there you have it. This one went a little bit long, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Two Geek Soup. We're recorded at Soundbind Studios with production support by Lee Earnhardt. You can reach me at 2geeksoup@gmail.com. I'm on Twitter at 2geeksoup. The Facebook page